Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. I'm Michelle.
And I'm Ken, and today we're here to talk about Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey.
Yeah.
Are you excited?
I'm surprised you didn't bring over the nice box set.
I didn't bring over the nice box set. It has Winnie the Pooh on the cover, but it doesn't, this is the poster.
Yeah.
This is the classic poster to Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey.
Classic.
So I just brought the case over. I got the Blu-ray of this, and we put up a poll on our YouTube that asked, do you want us to review Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, or Weird, the Weird Al Yankovic movie?
Okay.
And they chose Winnie the Pooh because they like to punish us.
Well, it was a choice, so.
It was. But look, before we get into talking about Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, if you like movie reviews and movie content and TV reviews and that kind of stuff, we do all kinds of that stuff here on this channel. Hit the subscribe button, and then also
like the video.
Like the video, like she said. And then did you see Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey? What were your thoughts? Let us know in the comment section below. I feel like some people liked it. Do you feel that way?
I mean, there's always going to be someone who likes a movie.
Every movie has somebody that enjoys it. So
yeah.
Where do you want to start with this one?
Well, this is definitely not the Winnie the Pooh that I remembered.
No, not the one we grew up with, for sure.
Yeah, when I first heard that they were making this movie, I was like, dear Lord. I was kind of like on the bandwagon of, why are you ruining a classic children's cartoon or whatever you want to call it.
Well, because they can. Winnie the Pooh is public domain, apparently, even though I grew up thinking it was Disney, because Disney was the one that put out everything it felt like. So we can make a Winnie the Pooh movie.
Yeah. I don't think we will.
So they took advantage of a classic character and put him in a horror movie. So
I definitely thought that it looked silly. I kind of knew what I was getting myself into, and I will say though that this was not as bad as a lot of people let it on to be.
Yeah, it's perfectly watchable.
Yeah.
It's not great. I don't really want to get into story and characters and stuff like that, because with these kind of movies, going all the way back to the slashers of the 80s, that hasn't always been the strongest suit for a slasher film. So I don't think that's fair to criticize this specifically, because there's tons of iconic 80s slashers that don't have the best story or characters.
Well, it's funny that you say that though, because I feel like the plot for this is actually quite good.
Yeah, it's a good setup. Also, it's a good setup. The animation in the beginning was kind of cool.
Yeah, it was.
Just how they set everything up. I guess, we could talk about it a little bit. I don't want to give spoilers for Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, but I'll read the synopsis on IMDb. After Christopher Robin abandons them for college, Pooh and Piglet embark on a bloody rampage as they search for a new source of food.
Yeah.
So it lets you know, right in the beginning, it tells you the story of Christopher Robin hanging out in the 100-acre woods with all the Pooh characters.
Right.
And he has to go to college, and he was bringing them food and stuff, and they couldn't survive without him. And they end up eating Eeyore.
Yeah.
Which
that is a spoiler.
I would say that's a big spoiler. But again, that happens in the first couple of minutes. But there's other characters like Rabbit and Owl. I think
and Tigger.
The Owl's the owl, right? That's who they were referencing.
Did you really?
I didn't know if they were saying owl, like A-L, or owl. It's been a while since I've seen Winnie the Pooh. I can't remember all the classic characters. But so Owl and Rabbit, they don't die according to the cartoon, but they're not in the movie. So I don't know quite what happens to them.
What do you mean the cartoon? The animation that they show?
Yeah, they're in that. They're in the beginning opening sequence, but they're not in any rest of the movie. So I don't know if they just didn't, because this movie was budgeted $100,000. Maybe they just didn't have the budget to make the costumes for an owl.
Yeah.
And a rabbit.
Yeah.
I feel like the rabbit would have been pretty easy, but
yeah, this was definitely a teaming up of Pooh and Piglet.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Like I said, I feel like the plot or the story was there. I thought that it was pretty interesting, made sense. I'm like, okay, this that makes sense to me, why they would go feral, as they say. I don't know, I enjoyed that part of it, and like you mentioned, I enjoyed the animation that they did. I honestly wish that they had done more of it throughout the movie.
Yeah, it'd been cool.
I don't know, how they would have incorporated it, but I did enjoy that. And I felt like it set it up, nicely. And I was kind of like, okay, like this is not going to be too bad, I don't think.
Yeah.
And like you said, it definitely wasn't great, but it was watchable.
The performances are definitely awful. We
Yeah,
were
they
having
weren't
fun,
great.
like making fun of them, but
Yeah.
they're those type of performances that are just so bad that they're fun to watch and make fun of in a way. So it
Yeah.
kind of makes them enjoyable. But I think that I'll give this movie some credit. There's some good moments of like build up and tension, and the music, the score is actually pretty good.
Well, it's funny because it sounds like out of an episode of Game of Thrones or something.
Yeah, like I heard some like riffs that sounded a little bit reminiscent of Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
It's way too dramatic for this type of movie and material.
There's
It doesn't
even some
fit.
like emotional music
Yeah.
in different parts of the movie, but yeah, I don't know. What did you think about like what Pooh and Piglet looked like?
So it's basically just two guys in a mask. I didn't think it was terrible. Like you could
Right.
definitely tell that they were masks, and they were supposed to be like hybrid. But that's how they kind of got away with it, like them walking around like humans. They're supposed to be hybrids between humans and animals.
They were?
That's what they said in the opening. Like they were some kind of like hybrid monsters or something.
Gotcha.
So that's how they got away with them like standing up straight and walking around and not being like traditional like pigs and rabbits or whatever. Which I'm pretty sure they were in the animated cartoon. I think they walked on their hind legs as well. They didn't look terrible, but
Right.
there's a point in the movie that you pointed out. One of the girls has a plot point about something in her past about a guy that was stalking her.
Right. And so, her and her friends, they go out to this, secluded house that I guess is not far from 100-acre woods or whatever. And
Which it's set up like you need to get away by yourself for the weekend, and then she brings four of her friends along with her.
yeah, into the creepy woods. But yeah, it was interesting because she catches like a glimpse of Pooh in one of the pictures.
Yeah.
And so, anyway, they basically think that it's the stalker guy that's come there or whatever. And so we feel like with the movie that they wanted us to believe that these were like real animals.
Yeah.
And that they weren't supposed to look like people with masks on. But the girls in the movie pretty much like ruin that by saying, oh, it's my stalker wearing some mask. That's basically what she was saying. So it's like you said, how are we supposed to take this seriously, or that they look like a real,
like they should have been selling them like some kind of like monsters, because
Right.
that's what they essentially are. But
Instead of
she
thinking it was a
even
stalker
thought it
dressed
looked like
up.
somebody in a mask, like the character of the movie. So
right?
that didn't make much sense. But I want to get into like with the horror movie, with the slasher in particular, like you live or die by your kills, the gore, like, and I thought that this movie had some good kills, like some creative kills. But the problem is that there was tons of blood splurting out, and there's just like
Splurting.
there was this, I don't know if
They
it was
chose
CGI.
to do like CGI or something instead of just practical effects.
They should have just went
and
practical, and I don't know why they did that.
I don't either.
They just wanted to go like super over the top, because there's a scene where a girl's head's getting crushed and her eye pops out and there's just blood like squirting.
But it just looks so.
it looks like 90s,
CGI.
2000s movie like CGI, just like that old
Right.
like computer graphic of like the blood splurting out. So it was horrible CGI. I don't know why they made the decision to do
Right,
that instead
instead
of
of
just
practical.
using practical. Like they didn't have to do the splurting out. They could have just done,
Splurt.
or they could do a practical splurt, right?
Splurt.
You could do a practical splurt. The movie's not tame. There's a lot of blood. There's a lot of
I will say, I feel like
kills.
they choose to shoot this like at night or in the dark. There's a lot of like shadowing and stuff going on, and I feel like that was intentional to cover up the bad like
Probably.
effects or the costumes or whatever. I feel
Probably.
like that was intentional, which was fine. I will say I do feel like it was a cool like set design or whatever, as far as when you get to the 100-acre wood.
Yeah.
or woods, like where Pooh and everybody like lived, or where they
Pooh
all
and
used
Piglet.
to, yeah, where they used to live or whatever. Like I said, I definitely don't think that this was as bad as I was anticipating.
No.
I got more enjoyment out of it than I thought that I was.
And there's supposed to be a sequel.
Yeah, they definitely leave it open.
And they leave a lot. They leave a lot open. Could we get Tigger in the sequel?
Oh, I mean, like Tigger, like thinking about his
that's a huge absence.
Woohoo! Like his. Like you could play him as like a psychotic Tigger.
You
could
have done some creepy stuff.
Yeah, for sure. So.
Yeah, so hopefully they bring Tigger out in the sequel, and right. You know what? I'll watch it.
Yeah.
I don't want to act like this movie's good.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely not good, but it's watchable, and I had a decent time with it.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was the worst thing in the world, like some people made it out to be.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah.
Do you want to score it?
Yeah, I'll give it a 2.5 out of 5.
Yeah, that's what I was going to give it to. I need to start going first because.
Yeah, is that what you want to give it?
Yeah, I'm going to give it a 2.5.
I think you should give it a 2.75 out of 5. I feel like you liked it a little bit more than I did.
No.
Okay.
2.5 out of 5 for me. Check it out.
Yeah, it's on. I don't know if I can recommend checking it out. It's on streaming right now for $9.99. Would you recommend somebody pay $9.99 to see this?
I would not pay $10.
Maybe wait till it comes to like Netflix or something. I feel like it'll come to Netflix or Shudder or something at some point. But we appreciate y'all watching. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Comment down below if you've seen Pooh, if you're going to check it out based on our kind of recommendation. Turn on the bell notifications. Follow us at the links down below. We'll see you next time.
Bye, guys.